Amber. Oh my gosh.
Get up. Upside down, so hold your tongue and hear me out. I know that we were made to break, so what I don't mind. You cue the lights, I'll draw the blinds. Don't dull the sparkle in your eyes. I know that we were made to break, so what I don't mind. Are you gonna stay the night?
Because I'm not thick and curvilicious with a big old booty, you think men don't want me? Let me show you something. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm showing a little bit of some skin. I felt that it was fitting since I'm talking about stealing somebody's man. Gonna have a lot of twists and turns, so bear with me. I'm not used to doing story time videos, and hopefully I do well on my first time. Make sure you stay tuned for my other story time videos because I'm actually going to be explaining to you guys what happens with me and this guy that I end up stealing from my friend. So I came to FAMU fall 2016. Before I got to FAMU, I made a friend. This girl reached out to me on a social media app, of course, and she was just like, hey, I noticed you tweeting. Ooh. Okay, first of all, let's give her a name. Let's give this friend a name. Becky. Becky reached out to me on a social media app, and she's just like, hey, I noticed that you're going to FAMU in the fall. I'm going to FAMU in the fall too. You want to hang out? Let's be friends. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, she's super cute. This could be a good look. I moved to Tallahassee actually on my birthday. I literally arrived in Tallahassee on August 16th, fall of 2016. I think I took like a day or two to like settle into my apartment or whatever, and then me and her hung out, and there was an instant connection, like instant. She was that friend for me that I had never had. Whenever she wanted to hang out, I was like, yeah, let's hang out. And usually I'd be like, maybe tomorrow. But she was that friend for me. We hung out every day, and then once school started, we went to parties and did events like that together. So actually our first party together was a Greek party. It was actually my first Greek party that I had ever been to. Being a military brat, I knew the benefit of nobody knowing who you are. I knew how much you could learn and how much more you could get done when nobody knows who you are. So my whole thing is, yeah, I wanted to go out, but I wanted to go out for the purpose of getting to see what was going on. What was the dynamic of this university? How could I get where I wanted to get? I had a strategy. I had a plan. I wanted to stay low key, under the radar, but be in the mix. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense. So knowing that in the back of my head, I'm like, all right, we about to go to this Greek party or whatever, but I'm trying to stay low key, you know, and let me just see who everybody is, what's going on, woo. So when we got to this Greek party, y'all, when I tell y'all, I had on, my hair was in a bun. I didn't have no makeup on. Y'all see how ugly and hideous and terrible these are? I need y'all to understand how low key I was trying to be. Now, this is a True Religion set that my best friend, I love you, Miko, got for me for my birthday this year. So it wasn't exactly this sweater, but I was wearing something like this. It was a pool party, okay? And that was my fit. So there should have been no way I was getting any attention. Nobody should even look my way. And if they looked my way, they should have been doop, doop. And that was the plan. The plan was for nobody to see me, nobody to know who I was, for nobody to be able to be like, oh, that was that girl at that pool party. You know what I'm saying? We get there, I'm dressed not even appropriate for the occasion. She's cute or whatever. I can't remember what she wore, but mind you, she is a very pretty girl, nice body, whatever. I sat down on the little lounge thingies. I don't know what they're called, but you know, those little long lounge chairs or whatever that they have at pools. And we both had liquor. I had my liquor in my little cup or whatever, and I was just drinking. I had my shades on. When I tell y'all, low key to the lowest key. Like, I was low key. And I'm sitting there looking like a little boy, drinking whatever I was drinking. She was in the pool or whatever, doing her thing. Me and her both were very sociable, but like I said, at this point, I wasn't really trying to be all that sociable. She gets out in a couple of minutes and she comes up to me and she's like, yeah, do you see this dude over here? Wooty wooty woo. He was some guy that was in the fraternity that was throwing the party. And she was like, yeah, he's so fine and blah, 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 blah. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, yeah, he fine. Like, he fine. But I'm not that type of girl. Like, I'm not finna gas nobody. Like, if you not my man, then you whatever. Like, I'm not that type of girl. So I'm just like, yeah, he alright. He cool. Like, yeah. She gets back in the pool. And they're talking and I'm feeling myself because I'm drinking and I'm just chilling. And in my mind, I'm just thinking about, wow, I really moved to Florida. Wow, this is really popping. Like, I'm just having conversations with myself at this point, chilling, minding my business. But I'm watching my friend, of course. I'm keeping my eye on my friend, and she talking to this dude that she said was so fine or whatever. And they look like they really chopping it up. So I'm like, you go, friend, you go. Next thing I know, she gets out the pool and she's coming up to me, and I'm like, all right, she must be, getting out or whatever. And she's like, he wants you to get in the pool. Whoa, 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 whoa. Why? I'm like, for what? Like, no. She like, okay. So she gets back in the water. They talking again. He looking at me, talking to her, looking at me, talking to her. And I'm like, what's going on? He calls me over. After a couple of minutes, he calls me over. And I'm like, here we go. He's doing like this to me in the pool. Like, yo, come. And then I'm like, no. Oh, me. No. No, I'm good. No, I'm good. He's like getting kind of aggressive. And I'm like, all right, let me think about this. I don't know none of these dudes. I don't know if he's going to take it offensively that I'm not going to him. So let me just get up and see what's going on. So I get up. And I'm like, hey, what's up, or whatever, what's going on? Like, I don't get too close to him because I know how dudes are. They'll throw you in there real quick. So, I'm keeping my cute little distance, and I'm bent over like, hey, like, can I help you, or whatever? And he's like, yeah, get in the pool. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to get in the pool because I'm not wearing the right clothes. And he's like, well, you're the one that came to the pool party dressed like that. And I'm like, yes, you're right. And it is what it is. Basically, is what I'm just telling him. Like, well, my bad. Next time, I'll get in the water, whatever. And he's like, oh, just get in. He had a bottle of, I think it was Hennessy. He was like, just get in. Stop being a party pooper. Just get in the water. You don't got a bra and panties on under that. Just get in. Da 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 da. And I'm like, all right, forget it. I had boy shorts on under my whatever pants these are. And I think I did have a bathing suit top on or something, or it was maybe a crop top or something. I don't know. But I ended up taking whatever I had on over the sweater and these pants off and getting in the water. And he was like, yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. You lit. Here's a shot. He was giving me shots of Hennessy, and I'm like, ooh, you a bad girl. At this time, I was like ratchet to the max. So I get in. He was like so happy. He was like, you are so lit. And mind you, I'm coming all the way from California. I ain't never been in this type of environment ever in my life. So the whole time I'm like, wow. At the end of the night, I went home like, wow, this was so lit. So I get out. I'm like, all right, now stop complaining. I get out the water. I only stayed in for maybe like 5 minutes tops, y'all. I did not stay in that water. I was not feeling it. I stayed in that water like 5 minutes just to get him to shut up. Took a couple of his shots, got out, and laid back down and minded my business. Maybe 45 minutes max. Here he come walking around. He had got out the pool maybe like 5 or 10 minutes after me. And I can't even remember what she was doing, my friend. I think she was still in the pool. But he got out, went inside, came back out, and then he was like approaching me. He's like talking to me, asking me questions. Where are you from? La la la. He was like, you look different. You don't look like you from here. So I told him, like, yeah, I'm from California. Blah blah blah. And he eventually asked me for my number. I was on Snap. Like, when he approached me, I still have Snap. When he approached me, I was on Snapchat. And he walked up to me doing his little frat stuff that they do. And I'm like, ah! Just so it's clear, this is not even the dude I'm talking about. This is not the guy I'm talking about, but we're getting somewhere. To me, I felt like She didn't know him. I didn't know him. Yes, she noticed that he was fine, but he wanted me because he asked me for my number. So I'm like, okay, if he likes me, if he's attracted to me, what good is it gonna do for me to turn him down and he don't even want you? Now we both just, you know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to men, I'm very much so like a guy. I'm very much so like let him choose, let him pick. Even though I didn't even care about the dude or even notice him before, him noticing me and him pursuing me, I decided amongst myself that I was going to give him a chance because once he started to, like talk to me, I was feeling his energy and he was fine. And popular men have never really been my type, but for some reason, something about him, I was like, I do kind of like him. We're getting somewhere, okay? I'm building a case here. How me and him ended up going. We never did anything sexually or anything like that, but to me, I was talking to this man, and to me, I really liked this man. And because she was my only friend at the time, of course she knew about it. As you guys know, I'm a flight attendant, and so I was gone most weekends. It was only about one weekend, maybe two if I was lucky, that I would have a weekend off a month. One weekend, she hit me up and she was like, hey, guess what? I just seen Nathan in a party and he was like all over me. And I'm like, okay, I'm not thinking much of her because I'm like, this is my friend looking out for me and telling me how much of a dog you are trying to get at my friend while I'm at work. You know what I'm saying? We just talking. I'm gonna let you do you. But from that point, I knew what it was. My friend just told me that you was trying to get at her. Like, oh, in a communication. Eventually, I don't know how it ended up happening, but eventually he was just like, hey, what's up with you? Like, what's going on? Why are you acting like this? And then I told him, I was like, well, my friend told me that eventually I broke down. I was like, dude, like, you gonna act stupid right now? I was like, if you was interested in my friend, you could have just told me that from the jump. And he was like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, yeah, Becky told me that you was trying to get at her in the club. Like, what you thought my friend wasn't gonna tell me what was up? And he was like, huh? He was like, yo, what? That sounds crazy. That sounds crazy. And not only did she tell me that he was trying to get at her in the club, but she also told me that he invited her over to his house that same night. And he was like, yo, that sounds crazy. We could call Becky right now. Call her right now. We could put her on a three-way, whatever. So I'm telling her, like, look, he's saying that you lying and I need to know what's going on. So let's talk. She was like, no, that's drama. I don't want to be in the middle of y'all drama. I'm like, but how can you not be in the middle of it when you're in the middle of it? Like, if you didn't want to be in the middle of it, you would have never told me nothing. The thing about it is, what even made me want to eventually break down and tell him what I knew is because whenever we would hang out, she would always mention him. Have you talked to Nathan? Are y'all still talking? Are y'all still hanging out? Are you gonna invite him over? Da 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 da. She will always bring him up. But the psych major in me was like, why does she keep talking about him? Like, why is she so interested in him? Why is she so interested in knowing what's up with us? You know what I'm saying? I can't even remember how me and him officially stopped talking. I think we eventually just knew we wasn't right for each other. He was when I say popular, I mean he was probably one of the most popular guys at the school. He was getting girls from my school, other schools, every other school. Like, people knew him. He was very popular. He had a lot of options. And here I am, just this regular, normal girl who I'm not even here enough to really please you or even be around you like that. So I think eventually he just wasn't feeling me no more. I think eventually he was just like, no, especially because we had to talk. Of course, the talk about sex came up, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm not ready for that. Like, he the first guy I met while I'm here in Tallahassee. Why would I sleep with you? And at this time, y'all, when I came to college, and I know this is kind of, hard to believe being the age that I am, but when I came to Florida and started going to college, I had only been with two guys. That's it. I was in a 3-year relationship, then on and off for 2 years. So that's my whole early 20s right there. You know what I'm saying? It took me so long to get comfortable to be with another guy. I was with one other guy after my first love before I left California. So when I came here to Florida, it's like, I was open to getting experience and stuff, but just not that soon. So, when the relationship was officially over and done, I did have a talk with Becky, and I told her that I was very uncomfortable with how it went down. I told her that in the future, if I was to meet a guy, I don't want her to be involved. I don't want you call, because she used to call him, she used to text him. about whatever she would call him and text him about. And she would tell me, oh yeah, I'm texting Nathan right now, asking him what's the moves for tonight, you know, stuff like that. And I just felt like that was weird. Like, no, like, why are you texting him? And like I said, she was always bringing him up. So once the relationship was officially done and over with, I told her what it was. I told her I was very uncomfortable with it, and that in the future, when I meet guys, I don't want her to be so involved with the men that I'm involved with. It was very clear. And also I did take into consideration the fact that, you know, she seen him at this party, had her eyes on him at this party, and maybe she just couldn't let it go. I took all that into consideration. I try to be fair, and so I let it go. Now, how did I meet this next guy? How did I meet him? Oh, what we gonna call him? Zach. Let's call him Zach. How did I meet Zach? There was this other girl that I had class with, and we were not friends or none of that. We just had class, and you know those people that you always talk to when you're in class and when you're out of class. If you see them around, maybe you'll say hi or something, but y'all not exactly friends or nothing. Okay, that's who she was to me. But when I was with her and she was talking to Zach or whatever, Zach asked me who I was. Like, hi, nice to meet you. I'm Zach, da 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 da. And I'm like, hi, I'm Amber. You can call me Adi, wooty wooty woo. And he's like, where are you from? I'm like, I'm from California. He was like, no lie, I'm from California. So I'm like, you're from California? So she actually knew Zach. They were not talking or none of that, but she knew who he was. I did not know that she knew who he was until me and him started talking and I actually started liking him, and I brought Zach up to her. Like, yeah, I'm talking to this guy right now. His name is Wooty Wooty Woo. And she's like, oh, I know him. I think they had a class together or something. I'm like, you know him or you know him? So she's like, no, I just know him. We don't talk or nothing. I'm like, cool. Me and him started really talking, y'all. I mean, we was probably about this close to like making it official, y'all. The most scandalous crap I have ever experienced. Hella scandalous. Same stuff. Texting him, calling him, literally would come over. Like one time, I was at his house and she's like, yeah, where you at? And I'm like, yeah, I'm at da-da-da-da's house. And she's like, oh, I'm gonna come over. And I'm like, I don't know why you about to come over, but okay, you can come over. He was gone at the time. She didn't know he was gone, but I'm like, okay, I'm assuming she's coming over for me. So why would I need to tell her that he's not there? So yeah, like I said, we was really talking. So yes, I was up in his crib. He wasn't there or nothing. She came over and she walked in and she was like, oh, where's Zach? I'm like, bitch, that's the first thing you say to me is, where's Zach? Like, it was clear. Like, I'm not stupid, y'all. Like, I'm a grown. I'm being the age that I am, like, there's not that much you can get past me. I'm grown. I'm smart. I put pieces together. I'm a psych major. Like, I know what's going on. And not only am I a psych major, but my main interest when it comes to psychology is marriage, family, relationships. Intuition is something, but it's not enough to be like, you're doing this and you're doing that and blah, 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 blah. I didn't see him taking the bait. I didn't see him really doing much until one night we were at a party at his house, a little social at his house, and he ended up getting super, super drunk, and both of them disappeared. Both of them disappeared, and they were both upstairs in his room, and I don't think, like, I didn't realize that they were up there together. I knew that they had disappeared, but I never like caught them in the room together. So I don't exactly know what happened. All I know is that they were both gone. So I asked her like, hey, where did you go when at such and such part of the social? And she literally told me that she was upstairs helping him because he was sick and throwing up or whatever in the bathroom. And I'm like, so the man that I'm talking to is upstairs in his room throwing up, sick or whatever. And instead of you coming to me and being like, hey, yo, Zach is really sick, go check on him or whatever, you decided to play Nurse Becky and tend to the guy that I'm talking to. Like, really? So I'm like, oh, okay. So at that time, I'm thinking like, all right, now both of y'all are suspect because he should have told me like, hey, your friend, like at this point, I knew it was noticeable for him that she was coming on to him. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to bring it up because one thing you're not going to do is you're not going to call me the insecure, crazy girl who thinks something happening or whatever. Like, I know that you can tell, and if you don't want to bring it up to me or whatever, and all right, I'm gonna just sit back and see how it play out then, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't really know what to do. I had never had a friend like her before. I text him, I'm like, hey, what are you doing for Thanksgiving? I'm thinking maybe I can cook and me and him can do something intimate or whatever, since we both nowhere near home. But he's like, oh, well, Becky invited me to her house. Yeah, yeah. I asked him what he was doing for Thanksgiving, and he told me that my friend invited him to her house, but my friend never invited me to her house. So I'm like, Zach told me that you invited him to your house for Thanksgiving. Like, what's up? And she's like, yeah, I did. He was telling me that he didn't have no plans, so I thought it might be nice to, feed him or whatever. My mom's cooking. You can come over too. Oh, I will be. So I'm like, bet. That's where we gonna be at. So I text Zach like, oh, okay, cool. I'll be there too. What's up? Then I call my homeboy and I'm like, hey, I want you to come with me because I knew I was not crazy. I called him and I'm like, I want you to come with me to my friend's house for Thanksgiving. Are you doing anything? He's like, no, I'm not doing nothing. He's from a different state too. So he's like, cool, I'll go. So we all go. Okay. And I'm giving him the whole rundown in the car. I'm telling him everything that's been happening. I'm like, watch them, see if anything's weird. Just tell me if I'm tripping out. Maybe I'm tripping out. Maybe it's just because of what happened in the past. I don't trust her. Just let me know. Y'all, by the end of that night, I don't know if I should go into details exactly what happened that night because the story time is already so long. It was just some really weird crap. It was weird to the point to where I don't even feel like they were trying to hide it. Still to this day. All I know is that it was so weird. The vibes were so weird. You could feel it in the air. I could feel it in my spirit, in my soul. It was almost as if they wanted me to feel stupid. They wanted to embarrass me. They wanted me to suffer in some kind of way about what they were doing. That's literally how it felt. And so when we left that night, I got in the car and I look at my homeboy and I'm like, so what you think? My homeboy is like, yeah, they're definitely doing something is definitely up. The whole night my homeboy was just chilling, watching TV, tried to stay very neutral, tried to act like he wasn't really paying that much attention so that he could really catch on to the vibes. And so my homeboy was like, nah, something ain't right. Something is definitely not right. You need to just leave him alone. I'm like, but should I say something? He's like, no, don't say nothing. Just stop messing with her. Leave her alone. Stop messing with him. Leave him alone. And I'm like, you right. Like, y'all, first of all, he was from Cali. I'm from Cali. He was fine. He was tall. Like, I could hang out with him every day, all day, and not get tired. I was like, this is the one. Like, y'all, I really felt like something was stolen from me. And because we went from being like this to just when she started coming around, just slowly, like, it was crazy. It was crazy because we really could have been something, but obviously not because obviously he was a cheater and whatever. But I'm like, going home, I'm like, all right, I'm listening to my homie. Me and my homeboy lived like not even 2 minutes away from each other, like different apartment complexes, but they was right by each other. So after I drop him off, I'm thinking like everything he told me in my head, I'm thinking about like, all right, don't say nothing, just drop them, just leave them alone. And I'm like, by the time I get home and I park my car, I'm like, no, hell no, I'm saying something. Like, I'm not the one. Like, you really try. And the reason why I said something is because I felt like the hurt was intentional. Like, you intentionally tried to hurt me. The fact that you're doing this in my face, like, you're not even trying to go behind my back. Like, you, like, what? That made me mad. So I text her and I'm like, what's going on with you and Zach? And she's like, you're tripping. There's nothing going on between me and Zach. And da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, first of all, I'm not stupid. And she eventually told me, like, he likes me. I don't even like him. You should ask him. You ask him what's up. He likes me. He likes me. Right. So I finally got the confirmation that I needed when she said that. Oh, he likes me. He likes me. I didn't do nothing wrong. He likes me. He told me he likes me. First of all, you're still doing something wrong, because if he likes you and you knew he liked you, then why would you still, like, just let me keep talking to him like, for example, if it was me and the tables was flipped around, first of all, I think maybe she justified it because of the situation that happened with the first guy. She probably told herself, well, I liked him and she still talked to him and da-da-da-da-da. But the difference is, y'all never talked. You seen him and you found him attractive, but he seen you and he didn't find you attractive. I never talked. There was never no talking process. So the difference was I'm actually talking to a guy. There's a talking process. And you knew him before I knew him, and y'all never got to a talking process. So, but now that I'm with him and we're talking, now that y'all, you know, and I'm at his house every night. Again, I never did nothing sexually with this dude either, and thank God, because this was only the second guy I met. And when I tell y'all I was hurt, like I was hurt. We come from the same city, like, oh, just talking about this right now, it hurts me still a little bit because I'm like, we come from the same city, like, really? Like, you from my city? And I was just disappointed. I was just so disappointed. So I know y'all probably thinking, all right, I thought this was supposed to be about you taking her man. So that whole time that I was talking to Zach, she was talking to someone too. And before I even met Zach, she was talking to someone. And they were very close, almost probably more so close than I was to Zach. She was really into this dude that she was talking to, which is another reason why I was just confused on why she would meddle in with my relationships. But she was very close to another dude. Throughout that whole process of a little bit before me meeting Zach and all throughout that process of me talking to Zach, while she was talking to her dude, which I'm going to do a story time about him because this is the guy that I'm talking about. And I don't know a name for him yet. Let's not rush that one. So the whole time that she was talking to this guy, I was talking to Zach or whatever. We had class together, me, her, and the guy that she was talking to. All three of us had class together. And I remember I couldn't stand him. I remember he used to say stuff, and I would just be like, shut up. One day she actually told me that he asked her for a threesome with me. So when she told me that, like, I wasn't about to be like, red flag, your dude wants me. You feel me? Like, I wasn't gonna tell her that. But in my head, I'm like, okay, this dude is obviously really feeling me. He used to stare at me in class. He used to ask me, like, he asked me one question once, and that was it. And he didn't pay that much attention to me. I don't want to make it seem like he was paying that much attention to me. But I would look at him, he would look at me, you know, quickly. He wasn't like a long, deep in love stare, you know, just normal stuff, whatever, no big deal. But when she told me that he said he wanted to have a threesome with me and her, I knew right off the bat, like, okay, clearly he thinks I'm attractive. Once I find out you're talking to my friend, I don't look at guys like that. But when things blew up with me and Zach or whatever, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, I wanted revenge. He was also Greek. And how it happened is on his Founders Day, I sent him a text. And I had his number in my phone because she texted him one night from my phone, but he would just make problems out of everything. So she would try to do what she could to de-escalate, you feel me? Which is understandable. But she used to have to lie or whatever. And one night, I guess he thought that she was with another dude, but she was with me. So I can't remember what happened, but she was just like, text him and say this and say that or whatever. So I did that. So I had his number in my phone. So on his Founders Day, after everything blew up with me and Zach or whatever, and I was feeling like, you know what? And I'm skipping parts because I forgot to tell y'all when things blew up between me and Zach, and she was telling me, oh, he likes me. She called me an insecure, jealous bitch. She said that nobody wants me, nobody likes me, that I could never get nobody, that she looked way better than me, her body was way better than me, and I'm telling her, I responded, I was just like, you're very pretty, you're a very pretty girl. I'm not gonna sit here and throw jabs at you and tell you that you ugly or you don't look better, than me or because me and you are two different people. I'm me, and you can never replace me, and you're you, and I can never replace you. And she was like, that's what's up, that's 100. Like, I don't mean to say that you're not pretty, I'm just saying, like, you're not better than me, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm just like, whatever, like, that's kiddie stuff. It don't matter what happens between me and a friend. I would never throw jabs like that. I would never call you ugly. I would never say your body is this or this is whatever. Like, she was really trying to hurt me. She really wanted to hurt my self-esteem. But I'm just like, girl, like, okay, so you think I'm ugly. You think your body is better than me. Whatever. Good for you. with all that being said, oh, you think you look better than me? Oh, you think your body better than me? Whatever, whatever. Let me show you something really quick. I wanted to show her something. Not necessarily because she got to me or that it hurt me, but I wanted her to see that your perception of a person is solely your perception. Because you think that because I'm not thick and curvilicious with a big old booty, you think men don't want me? Let me show you something. Let me show you something. And plus, I had already knew that he found me attractive because he had told her he wanted to have a threesome with me, and she told me. So I hit him up on his Founders Day. Happy Founders Day. Very simple, very basic. Just easing my little sneaky way in there with an explanation point. And he's like, is this that skinny chick with the long curly hair? And I'm like, I was sick. He said something to gas me up, and I was just like, got him. He wanted me. I already knew he wanted me though, so it's not like I'm gonna act shocked. But it wasn't hard to get him. Within that first conversation, it was on. It was on. I think like maybe the next day or the day after that, he was asking me to hang out with him. He wanted to see me or whatever, and it was a wrap. I knew she was gonna find out. I knew what I was doing. And what's crazy about it is I think he knew. I think he knew. Because me and him never talked about it, but I think she talked a lot. She told her business a lot. And so I think she told him what happened between me and that first guy that I was telling y'all about. And so I think he was very intelligent, more so and more intelligent than me. I catch on to things really quick, and throughout our relationship that ended up happening because of this, I know that he's very intelligent. Like, probably one of the smartest men I've ever met in my life. But our relationship was not the best. It was not healthy at all. And stay tuned for my next story time, because in my next story time, I'm going to be telling you guys all about how I ended up in a very, very abusive relationship with this man. Karma kicked me in the ass. That's why I'm not a revengeful person anymore. I believe in just letting the universe deal with things, because when you try to get payback and revenge, it ends up being so much worse. Only 2 people know about this relationship I have with this man. Well, 3, because she knew. One of my pro fights knows about this relationship, and one of my close friends knows. Nobody else knows. I don't talk about this. My parents don't know. My siblings don't know. My line sisters don't know. So stay tuned, because for the first time ever, I'm going to publicly talk about how I was in an abusive relationship, and now you guys know the background story, and now you guys know how I ended up in this abusive relationship, so I don't have to give you guys all that information, because as you guys can see, this story time is very long. Stay tuned. I'm looking forward to doing that story time with you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. Please like this video, leave a comment, do something if you enjoy these videos. That way I know I'm not wasting my time doing them, and that I'm giving you guys content that you actually enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.